Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good day to you, depending on where you're from. It's a bit of an odd camera situation you're seeing here, but I'm joined by the lovely caster, my twin brother, the other Kiki. So, we will be heading into the first game for tonight alone. But, we should be, joined soon by another caster, but we'll see. We'll see how stuff goes. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm more than enough. But anyway, less of that. Welcome to the playoffs tonight. It's a big night for everyone. To everyone in chat, welcome. It's a really, really huge night for the challenger bracket as we will be heading into our first game here. We can see that it will be Mischief against Neptunium. So these two teams, different conferences obviously. Neptunium has had the decent comeback in like the last season and then ended up being second in the Glacies conference. But I mean, we all know what the force of Mischief can actually do and what they can actually provide. So, as for the winner here, I'm gonna let the first Kiki tell me more about that one. Right. So I was thinking maybe 3-1 here for Mischief. I'm thinking Neptunium will put up a bigger fight just because maybe it's like a conference difference. So I'm definitely gonna have to say that Mischief takes this one away. As for the second Kiki, I've heard that he's leaning more towards a Game 5 finisher here. We're at 3-2. So, as far as predictions goes, that's about how far we're into it. 3-1 and a 3-2 towards Mischief. So, Mischief, a heavy favorite as well. So, on to some perhaps predictions here, potentially. So, as for caster predictions, we've had our lovely casting and analysis team do a big sort of bold prediction, talent predictions as you would like to call them. And we can see two top dogs very distinctively there. It is Team Serene and Illusory, aka Yokubo from Team Serene and Mischief from Team Illusory. So, those two teams as the favorites. We have one outstanding Shadow esports there, but other than that, it seems to be mostly them two teams just running it the whole way through. So, the top dogs of both conferences will eventually have to duke it out, I assume, just because, you know, you'd expect the top ones to actually get to the grand final and play it out. But without further ado, we do have players joining the lobbies. We will get this game underway during our lovely little, let's say, pre-show that we had right now. It was a bit cut short just because we're a bit behind on time, but in terms of Rocket League, everything should be there as it stands. Everything will be played out on the pitch. We will give the players this sign to get ready to rumble as we do get underway for our first game of playoffs here on the RSC-eu mainstream. Mischief against Neptunium, and we are underway. Lovely little kickoff there coming in from the side of Neptunium. Cynics trying to get to the edge of that one, not being able to get that one quite well enough as Curly tries to get past one. Doesn't necessarily manage to do that. Cynics gets a lovely 50 there. Curly once again on the ball, needing to control this slightly. The key difference here will be patience, and the mistakes are gonna be punished here. Both of these teams are excellent at punishing mistakes on their opponents, so it's kind of the biggest deal when it comes to these challenger playoffs. It's just which team can punish the more mistakes on the other side, as this one seems to look loosely dangerous. Yes, next needs to get a touch on that. Ronan not being able to get across to that one. Pairs trying to find someone in the center, but no one there to receive. The second man still a bit slow for the side of Illusory here. Mischief not causing any so far as Curly misses that one, and Pairs there to punish. He takes the lead for Illusory in game number 1 here. A lovely little infield pass. Lovely little bounce off the back post. Curly can't read that one, and that one is just in the back of the net. Mischief with one on the board. Decent kickoff there to start things off here. Might be looking for a second here, although Curly giving the ball away once again. They need to keep that possession if they want to control any of these plays. Cynics waiting in the middle. Trying to get something going as Jones puts that one near middle, but Tank gets a beautiful little touch there to knock it away and keeps following it. Beats one, bumps the second. This one could be set up for an Illusory Pro. Pairs dunks on Curly. And right now it's all Taffy Jones in defense, trying to get this one clean, but Ronan puts this one on the backboard. Can it be another? It can! Tank is there to convert it off a lovely little infield pass there from Ronan. The team chemistry is on display here for Illusory, and if Neptunium don't pick anything up, they could be looking at a crash out for game number 1. Interesting kickoff there. Illusory players kind of actually having some issues there with communication, but so far we do still have Taffy Jones trying to get this one in field, gets it past one, not being able to get it past the second. Denied. Pairs now trying to get something on the other side of the field, looking for an infield pass. Sees Ronan. Ronan with a lovely conversion. And Neptunium have no answer. They're completely being shut out. They're completely being outplayed, outmaneuvered. There's nothing they seem to be able to pull together in this game, number one. They need to wake up soon, otherwise Mischief will just run away with it. Once again, kickoff in the favor of Illusory, but Neptunium quick to take possession here. Cynics with an opening shot here, tries to slot top corner off the crossbar. Or rather, the post actually, in that opinion, was a corner, but unfortunately, still the same result here for the side of Neptunium as Mischief put another one behind the lines for just a beautiful lead they're having. They're controlling the game so flawlessly here. It might be looking like the game's already over, just the amount of control they're having and the clinicality. Every single one of their shots so far has been converted. Ronan now on the field, getting another kickoff goal, and there we are with 5. I mean, it's a bloodbath. It's a complete massacre. Neptunium, nothing to show for it. Just completely shut out here, and Ronan understanding that the back right kickoff would have not been the wisest answer for Neptunium, and then just following it up and beating out the actual follow-up player. The kickoffs have been on point here for the side of Mischief, and they have been causing quite a lot of mischief. All right, okay, you can fire me now. It's okay. I'll be handing in my resignation letter. But so far, Ronan is still looking for those infield passes. Tank now trying to get 50 there. Pairs was early to jump to it, but yields nothing from it. Taffy Jones now gets something past one. Maybe a consolation goal at least at this stage of the game. Pairs trying to beat out Cynics, not being able to, as Curly gets it past one. Pairs, though, there to receive, goes alone, gets it over 2, and it's Pairs to make it 6. All players of Mischief, 2 a pair, just pure beauty on display, pure dominance. I don't think there's anything left for Neptunium to do in this game other than just talk it through. Get something going for the second game, get a timeout at least before. Because if this momentum keeps going, it seems that Ronan is going for a 7th, and he will convert it. There's really not much game here left for Neptunium. This one might as well be done and dusted, as Ronan will put the nail in the coffin. I do hope that Neptunium do wake up for that game number 2, because this is a long series, and this can be an endurance series rather than a skill series. If you understand what I mean, it's just a pure question of how much skill can you display and for how long. As Cynics tries to get it past one once again, they're not having any cohesion. They're just giving the ball away over and over again. Ronan once again very happy to take possession there, trying to get past one. Taffy Jones with 50 there. Tank around 1, trying to get a slight touch over one. Pairs now looking for the infield man in Tank, gets demoed by Taffy Jones, but Pairs tries to put one on target. Very ambitious there, tries to combine with Ronan, then once again denied. Can Curly get something going to show some semblance of life for Neptunium? Taffy Jones just gives it away once more. A very weak shot that posed no threat, but Cynics, the threat himself, denied. As Ronan, I believe, shows him that it's lights out for this game. You're not getting through me, son. Tank with a demo as well, getting that mental effect into play, trying to maybe force some mechanical errors and then maybe slow down the opponent just recovering. They have to recover mentally for the next game. Losing 7-0 is really a tough thing to show for, especially if you're Neptunium doing so well in the season and then getting absolutely demolished in the semifinals. You have gone here through the actual upper bracket qualies, and then the actual play-ins were very convincing for you, but the skill you're displaying as Neptunium, you're just not having fun here, are you? Taffy Jones trying to get past one, but Cynics once again on the ball, actually taking some possession, but denied by Pairs. Pairs quick to it. Not much there on display for Curly, as Tank will be intercepting that one right here. Taffy Jones once again knocking that ball upfield. It just doesn't yield any result for them. They've shown nothing. They've been completely eviscerated in this game number 1. And if they don't change anything for the other games, it could be very well over for them. It could be looking like a sweep for Illusory, just the way they're used to, I assume. As this ball will hit the ground, the Illusory will not concede for Brazil, and that game will come to a very, well, obvious conclusion in terms of paper, but absolute dominant performance from the side of Mischief. Just pure greatness of the chemistry and the absolute atrocities that Neptunium have committed in the defensive lines, and the errors have been all but punished from the side of Neptunium. They've just found no answers for that Mischief offense. We will head into a little technical break, as we might need to reset the stream for the game sound, just because we might even be getting the second caster in, so you never know. We can get a beautiful little lovely technical timer. But yeah, 7-0 on the board with all those scorelines. Illusory will take game number 1, and that will be 100% their game. I mean, in terms of scoreline, it will stay the same, but a potential reset is looming to fix the actual game sound. And we will get the green light to head to the small tech pause. As for the secondary caster, I hope we will be able to lock that one in very soon. But other than that, thoughts on this match? I gotta say, I mean, it was just pure dominance from the side of Mischief. It looked like they are unbeatable, and if they keep this going, we might as well have seen the winner here. If I mean, the only potential candidate I can see stopping them are potentially Clean and Yokubo, which are second in Ignis Conference in Clean, and then Yokubo first in Glacies. But other than that, we're really not seeing much in terms of just mechanical display or even team cohesion from the side of Neptunium. As the tech break does head into effect, we will be sorting everything very shortly. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. But in terms of casting, not much will be foregone, as we will be heading potentially into a break. I will see what the production is determining here. So, yeah, okay, so we will be heading into a small break to fix everything. We're gonna get a third caster, so you're gonna have 2 me, 2 of Kiki, of course, and then a beautiful little, you know what? It's a surprise. It's not a face that's usually shown on here, so it's gonna be a surprise as for when the actual person gets on the display, gets on the broadcast, gets on the mic, as we would like to say. So we will be heading into a break shortly, so stay tuned with us shortly. Just
Hello.
I've been drinking water for some time, picking up the parts of all my life. Didn't get to solve it this time. How am I to break apart? Don't tell me why we can't collide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Don't you feel it? On the break of dawn, I'll follow you to carry on. On the break of dawn,
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we will be heading into game number 2 shortly. I just want to introduce our lovely co-caster here. One of the first of many appearances. Okay, it's Adam. It's Adam. Adam, welcome to the stream, my guy.
Hi Kiki, how are you?
Doing amazing, must say so myself. If you haven't caught the start of the first game, I have to say it's been very one-sided. It's been Mischief all over Neptunium, winning it 7-0. In terms of raw star player mechanics, it's just been the whole team working as a unit. As for Neptunium, just kind of falling apart. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed from actually playing Mischief in the final game of the season as well, and how their stats have been during the season too. So it's very much a team-based game with Mischief, but there are issues with Neptunium by the looks of it on who might be their third player. Obviously, they've selected Curly today or Marder. I know I've had my thoughts on him recently, and Flip It is not playing currently. Whether they sub him in later, I don't know, but might be something that's tripping them up right now. And whether we see Flip It later, who knows?
It could be the timing. I can agree with you on that one, because it doesn't definitely feel like a roster that's been running through the season with 12-6 with a really solid type of game plan, as we will be getting these players ready to go as soon as they are ready, and we will get underway in game number 2 here. Quickly, before we run away, just so you don't take away just 2 of my predictions, what prediction are you going for here, Arch?
I think I went 3-1 in my predictions, and I've gone for Illusory winning the whole thing. Like I said, I've played them before, and I've seen how they play.
I can completely agree with you there. If you are witnessing some technical issues, it will be resolved shortly. We are having some fumbles here. We might be as well as called Neptunium here, but it seems that they're off to a much better start. No goals yet to show, so not a bad start if you're an RSC viewer here. You didn't miss anything in terms of that, but triple commit there from the side of Neptunium might prove something dangerous here from Illusory. I can see what you were getting at when you said that third player is definitely in question, because apparently all 3 of them are trying to play that third player here, Arch.
Yeah, and I was looking at the stats database before this game, and even though I had my feelings on who possibly better, as Illusory score, Pairs puts in a brilliant goal there. And this is something that works really well for Illusory or Mirage. Mischief. Pairs stays upfield a lot as well. He steals the opponent's boost so much. I think this series that I played him, he had something like 5,000 boost consumption, which I've never ever seen before. So he disrupts the defense so much, and just staying on that wall probably catches the opponents out a little bit.
I mean, trying to get those 50, that's kind of like 50 big boost pads just yoinked up. That's kind of a big number here.
Yeah, try playing against that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to have a fun time if you're Neptunium right here, but they seem to get some sort of offense going. There was a good chance here for Taffy Jones, but just not getting the good touch here. Tank trying to take it away here. Mada, though, plopping it down. Double commit there from Illusory, something we're not quite used to seeing there, but Neptunium need to start capitalizing on that, or they're gonna just fall behind once more, since Illusory seem to have just kept up the trend, and then they're scoring and they are not conceding.
Yeah, all the pressure is from Mischief again. They're outshooting Neptunium again. And before I was really interrupted from a Pairs goal, I was saying that although I thought Marder was the best player, going on stats power ratings, Flip It actually has a 90 power score with Marder on an 88. So obviously, Marder is outperforming his CMV because he is quite low, but Flip It does have the better stats and the win percentage according to the database. So, as we said, as I got into the game, whether we see a change later on, who knows?
Yeah, maybe it's the caster buff that they're gonna receive. Maybe they were just waiting for that second caster to actually make the stuff interesting. And since you're here, they are looking dangerous with some of these open net chances. But Ronan there to collect turning it on the other way. Mada now getting it past one to get back past the Cynics, but Cynics not doing much with that one, but the bump secures the possession for his team right now. Curly trying to get past one, not being able to. Taffy Jones, though, on the receiving end, gets it to the backboard. Anyone there to receive? No. Just way too spread out are the attack off the side of Neptunium, and Ronan will look to capitalize on that one. Once again, looming on that back wall was Tank this time, and it is a reoccurring theme that they seem to be doing. His pairs right there again in the corner, as you said. Just keeps harassing that defense with the boost steals and the bumps.
Yeah, and everything looks a little bit panicky from Neptunium. It seems like they're just trying to play in as an individual player, just knocking the ball away and just trying to get someone to chase it, whereas Mischief are in all the right spaces, playing as a team. And that is why they're out shooting Neptunium currently.
Absolutely, I have to agree with you. You can definitely tell that Mischief are kind of just playing positional Rocket League in opposing to ball Rocket League, which are Neptunium doing right there. All three players around the ball just chasing after it, hoping that play can be made. But double commit there might open something up here if Cynics can convert, and he can. Finally, a sign of life here from the side of Neptunium does yield fruit, as Cynics will be able to capitalize off of that error of Mischief. Just a double commit out of nowhere, just costing them a free goal like that.
Yeah, and all of a sudden they are out shooting Mischief, and they've found that little bit of panic from them as well. And this should put their hopes up a little bit after going 7-0 in the first game, I believe it was, to now holding them 1-1 with a minute to go. They really need to think of this as we need to take our chance right now and get 1-1 on the scoreline.
Especially since this illusory roster is not looking forgiving, and they will be looking for more. Tanks look to send to that, but Mada will get the clear here. Nothing yielded yet. Taffy Jones infield pass hits the post. Demo from Ronan will deny, but this one's still a bit dangerous here. Cynics goes up for it, but Tank denies it. And Illusory are still somehow breathing. They have been under so much pressure here from Neptunium lately, but will this yield a counterattack here as Pairs leaves this one for Tank? Tank looks to put it on target, but save from Cynics. The savior himself with 3 saves. Brilliant job there on the defensive side, but a Rocket League does not have draws, sadly. It's not the legacy format, it is the actual RSC format. We're looking for an actual winner here as Illusory keep pressuring the last seconds on the clock. And Archeon, I believe we're seeing our first overtime of playoffs here.
Yeah, the first overtime, but I've been a lot more impressed with Neptunium over the past minute. They are putting pressure onto Illusory. They're making them starved of boost, which is rare for a team who grabs so much. And they just need to carry this momentum into the overtime and possibly snatch a winner.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you there. Taffy Jones, I mean, if you have to win somewhere, it has to be this game. If you're gonna lose a game 7-0 and then completely get outshined in the second and then, lose on overtime, that third game, the mentality will be down in the drain, as it is kind of like you had it there. The strongest team, undoubtedly, in the league. Just we know that conferences haven't been mixed and stuff, but like going almost undefeated, losing that single game, just it will be demoralizing going into game 3 on a series point here. But Tank will look to try to get to the other side here, as not much we've seen, not much offense there from the side of Illusory, as that one is heading goalwards. But yeah, Archeon, what kind of goal do you think it's gonna be? Is it gonna be another mistake from Illusory, or are we actually gonna see some sort of life in terms of attacking from the side of Neptunium?
I think it's going to come from a lot of pressure on one team, and just alluding to your point earlier, they definitely need to win this game. You cannot go 2-0 down against this team. You need to take it to 1-1 because you're going to have to use your timeout. You're going to have to slow their momentum. And at the end of the day, there's only one team who have beaten this team in league play, only one team who reverse swept them. And that was when I played on the final day of the season. So I couldn't cast this game.
I mean, all props aside, I mean, trying to beat this team with the kind of playstyle they have, just playing around it and reverse sweeping it mentally, has to be something that's commended. As Cynics will take this one to the wall, but giving away possession again, that's the biggest issue they have here on the team. They're giving away too many of these free chances. They need to be concerned because that boost is getting lower and lower as we're heading to the zeros. All three players low on boost, bumping each other. Taffy gets some right here, trying to alleviate some pressure here. Pears gets an unfortunate touch. Cynics now misses the ball there. Could be a bit dangerous, but Curly there to pick up the slack. Goes again, tries to get the aerial over Tank. Tank gets it to the back post. Not being able to keep on it as Cynics will regain this pressure. 2.5 minutes already. This will almost determine the next game right here. The momentum that this game will carry is going to be huge into next game.
Let's just give credit to Neptunium, though. They've come under so much pressure
My God.
in that last minute, and they had no boost whatsoever for a good 30 seconds. They had no boost to get shots off. They've managed to weather that storm, and they've taken a game off of Mischief. Cynics putting the ball in to take a 1-1 series draw, and huge props to Neptunium for the resilience of that past 60 seconds.
Big props there for Cynics as well. Both goals, getting the Savior medal. I remember him just seeing him on the back line, getting to some of those just hard and difficult balls to reach. But I mean, just the pure... You are correct. I completely have to agree with you. The pure resilience they have shown, and it's finally given them something, maybe a semblance of hope. You know, it's not always about the amount of goals, because, you know, you can say Illusory scored 8. Sistema Solaris, aka Neptunium, scored 2. But it's 1-1 in series. So it's not a matter of how many you can score. You just need to show that endurance throughout the series. And are we seeing Illusory kind of running low on that tank, kind of, as you saw the reverse sweep happen. You witnessed it live, of course. You could think that it could potentially be the issue of them just running out of steam to keep going.
Looking at the scoreboard, I just think Ronan wasn't really in that game. The game I came in, I remember Ronan. I mean, it was all pretty similar score-wise, but Ronan was the kind of playmaker within the team. I think he had the most goals, assists, and saves, and in that game, we just see him at the bottom there. 1 shot, 3 saves, no goals, no assists, and you really need one of your star players to get more involved into the game. And although they had the pressure and they were stealing a lot of boost off Neptunium, there was just no really end product from the team.
Yeah, I can get behind that, absolutely. Especially since their attacking force has been lacking so hard because they had all the boost, they had all the pressure. They've been playing that backline sneaky goblin strategy where you just steal the boost. But Curly, they're a mistake that should not be seen in the RSC. You cannot be doing that in playoffs here, Curly.
Yeah, that is a mistake to make in league play where you can get away with it over 9 weeks. And Taffy says in the chat, fail of the week. And I think that is going to go down as one, especially in this playoffs format. You just cannot be doing that in the final stages of the season. And if you go out today, that is one of the mistakes that you're going to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's like a 1 goal difference. I mean, no team have taken a timeout. Both teams were just ready to go into this one. I was assuming Illusory might take a timeout just to talk about what went wrong, as they were clearly the better side in game 1. Why couldn't they regain that same sort of momentum? This Tank keeps the pressure on here. All 3 players a bit overextended here on the side of Illusory, but Rowan has nothing against that, as Tank is keeping that ball high in the air. Maybe should have left that one for Pez. Pez trying to get this one on the other side of the line, but Curly already 3 saves. We're seeing a lot more pressure from Illusory this game than from game number 2 here.
Yeah, that is something we've seen throughout league play, though, where you've just said that Pears maybe should have left the ball or let Pears get involved more. They've done it quite a few times, and this team's actually had 2 or 3 fail of the weeks as well because of the way they put pressure onto the teams but end up missing the ball or whiffing a couple of times in front of goal because they're just all on the ball, and that may be something that Mischief need to work on.
Absolutely. I mean, clinicality is definitely a choice of word here. They used to, so in the first game, they shot literally 4 shots in total. They scored all 4. It was actually 5, I believe. That miss could go punished here. Curly, Ronan here, the only one on defense, gets bumped away, but no boost from any players of Neptunium to meet this one here, except for Taffy Jones. Jones not being able to get anything past that one. They just keep giving the ball away. Just indecisive touches. They're kind of just playing towards the ball and hitting it without thinking about where should I hit this ball? How will this affect the further stages of play here? Kind of that potential style that they're missing, just thinking about the way they're hitting this ball.
Yeah, Cynics with a great pass into the middle just a moment ago. Taffy just couldn't get down to it. Pairs just keep possession into his corner, but Mischief, 2 players going for the ball, and that might be a miss. Tank manages to recover well, but does not have boost. It's going to go into the Neptunium half, and Marder has to deal with Tank here. Should get the clear, and they managed to relieve possession just for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be all Neptunium in the last minutes, sort of just putting on that pressure, finally waking up from their slumber. But that one goal, it's still looming in their minds. It has to be. It was a simple mistake, but the scoreline stands and you're kind of behind and you need to get that going. Pairs well, lovely little redirect touch, followed up by Tank. Now, this could be an issue, but Taffy resolves it very quickly, and that one is just here again. Once again, Pairs gets that meat to the ball, and Ronan will be the one who converts it. Just a series of errors from the side of Neptunium yield another goal towards Mischief.
It's just panics and whiffs, and that is what is going to cost Neptunium possibly this game. Not just the game, but the series as well. As we said earlier, you're going to look back on mistakes that cost you the playoffs, and this is the game that's proving it. They really need to stay composed in defense, like they did in the second game. They were so solid, and they just need to think back to that last couple of minutes that we saw earlier.
Absolutely. You just need to be a bit more clinical on that offensive line, and the possession has not been there. The infield passes have been looking for them. They have been looking for it. It's just the execution was not there, as Tank will get that demo. Ronan now putting this one goalwards. Curly there. One marvelous tip to the post. Gets this one past Pairs. Pairs, though, lobs one over. And my god, are the errors being shown here from the side of Neptunium.
It's another miss. Marder just couldn't get it. It looks like it's one of those mistakes in the game where it goes through your car. Obviously, possibly just a server ping issue, but Taffy didn't expect it and it just goes over him. And this is Neptunium's own downfall, is their own mistakes. There's nothing else they can blame. They just need to reset. I think they're probably going to take a tactical timeout after this, because if they don't, they would be stupid not to. And they just need to get that reset, just talk it out and say, look, we need to cut the mistakes out because this is costing us right now.
Absolutely. Like, even that would be a mistake, not taking that timeout, just carrying on with this momentum. The technical delay did save Illusory, well, Mischief in that round from an obvious scoreline, but Cynics not being able to get to the end of that one, trying his hardest. Pairs once again upfield, reaching for that ball, being the first man to it. It's just these sort of plays and passes that you need to be intercepting if you're Neptunium, but there's a lot to talk about if you're heading into game number 4 here.
Yeah, I don't know what quite to say. They just need to possibly try and get a goal back and get some momentum at the end of this. Just take that last 20 seconds in, get a goal, and then just say, look, we've got the momentum now. Let's do it in the next game. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see a 2-minute timeout after this game.
Yeah, I mean, and Illusory, it's not that I'm gonna say like, oh, they haven't played good. They have played solid, but this game feels like a more of a downfall of Neptunium rather than like a victory of Mischief. Just the capitalization of mistakes was all there. It's just mistake after mistake from Neptunium. Maybe the pressure getting to them here, Archeon.
Yeah, 100%.
Timeout.
Yeah,
the timeout has been called there. So, talk me through this one, Archeon. What are we looking at for game number 4 after a timeout has been actually called?
Very expected that we're going to see this. I'm disappointed in Neptunium's follow-up to game 3 from game 2. Cynics on 94 points. He just wasn't involved. No goals, no assists, no saves, no shots. He really needs to get involved. But I wouldn't really say that Cynics was the man who made the mistakes. I think it was Taffy and Marder who were missing a couple for the goals. It's just one of those. They need to get the comms back on point. Just get the morale up. They can do this because Mischief aren't playing the way Mischief has in the league. Although they're dominating the boost and the possession, all 3 of them are kind of clambered up together and there's not really much space on the pitch. They are just jumping in with each other. So they are there to be exploited. I just want to move over to some other results though, because we're seeing that Eclipse have actually swept Yakubo, who were the top seed from the other conference. which is a massive result because Eclipse were tipped to be dark horses with the way their form has been. Ember have beaten Clean 3-1, and Veldora, who are the fans' favourites right now with how they've been performing in recent weeks, have beat Rise 3-1. So at the moment, my prediction percentage for this tier is about 90% because the only result I didn't see since play-ins is Eclipse beating Yakubo.
Yeah, it is a shock, and there was that one lonely talent prediction in terms of predicting players, and I believe it was Veiled who had Eclipse beating out everyone and winning it, actually. I will just go double check this real quickly, but yes. Okay, so in terms of those, it has been Veiled that has literally just gone ahead and said that Eclipse will clean out the whole predictions line, just absolutely going against everyone there, just pulling out that prediction is a bit of a wild one, but took me through that lower bracket run. What does it look like now for the sign of Yakuba? You are kind of the only challengers left after this sort of rampaging from the side of Illusory here. It's 2-1 in the series here for Illusory, for Mischief against Sistema Solaris, but I mean, we all see that it's been kind of one-sided throughout the games. How does the lower bracket run now look for Yakuba? Is Mischief kind of in the clear here, just because there's not much to contend with in the upper bracket after this?
I mean, Eclipse have made this playoff bracket their own. It's pretty much Mischief versus Eclipse now, if Mischief can take this 4-4-5 game. I said before this playoff started in the Challenger discussion that the team with the most flop potential was Yakubo, and the team with the most potential to go all the way was Eclipse. We are just going to tell them in a couple of seconds that they can get going, but yeah, Yakubo, I didn't really see much about them during the league play. I know they were top, they had a great record, but I just haven't seen them play, whereas Eclipse have come into their own in recent weeks, and they've just shown that they can sweep top of the other conference. So I think we could possibly see a Mischief and Eclipse playoff final at the rate it's going.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that's the case, there's definitely going to need to be one of those teams heading to the lower bracket before they do meet each other, before the actual grand final, because it's all about who actually gets that final potential bracket reset. It's such a good backbone to have if you're heading to that grand final, but less about that, more about the game in hand. Mischief all under pressure right now, but Pez getting to the end of that one. That clear could have been dangerous here. Taffy Jones not getting a good enough touch there. Could open up a 2v1 here, but Pears decides to take it slow, letting his teammates push up as well. Tank now in the air after that bump. A beautiful execution from the side of Mischief. And that was actually a very brilliant play by them.
A huge credit to Pears here. When I saw Pears receive that pass, Tank and Ronan were in their own goal with no boost. He just slowed that play down, took it onto the wall, did a slow air dribble, allowing his team to get some boost and push into the middle. And he manages to get there for Tank to put it away. And it's Mischief on series point and a goal in the lead. But Taffy bumps Pears. He's going to get it. The Tank jumps in brilliantly there to save the day.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where it seemed hopeless until Tank just drove in and got that clear. But you can see that the clears from Illusory are not meaningless. You could have seen that Ronan just put that one on top of Pear's car, knowing that he would be there. But Curly now trying to get something on the front. Ronan there once again denying a lovely follow-up. The possession is just brilliant for the side of Illusion when they're on defense. They're not giving them any follow-up touches. They're not hitting the ball to the corner and hoping for the best. They're actually calculated, and they do think about their future passes, where they're going to end up. They don't want to give any sort of seconds or leave any crumbs behind for Neptunium to pick up.
Yeah, something that I've just noticed as well after the timeout, they have stuck with the same roster, Neptunium. They didn't make that change, so maybe they did think that this was their strongest roster. I did see that Flippit said he wasn't playing very well earlier on in scrims. So this is the team that they think can beat Mischief, but at the moment it's going to be very tough with a goal down.
Yeah, at this rate, if you're gonna keep going like this, it's more about surviving rather than beating, as you are just kind of constantly in the back foot. But Curly here doesn't seem to think so. Tries to get the one in the center, but Cynics not fast enough to follow. That was more of a shot than a pass there. Cynics maybe overzealous there a bit. Maybe the pressure getting there to him, as Tank will take this one to the other end, but straight into Ronan. Once again, not thinking about the future passes, as I believe it was the own pass from Curly that led to that demise.
Yeah, and they just can't get out of defense there. Mischief just put on too much pressure and blocked the side that Neptunium were on, so they couldn't take it back down the wall. And they have to put it across goal. And obviously, Ronan is there just to put the ball away. And it's just a very solid performance from Mischief. Can they keep it up? They might have an open net chance here, but Tank panics. Cinex has given it away, though, and that is a recurring theme from the last game.
Yeah.
They dive at it, they whiff, and they just get another chance at the ball.
Yeah, just that ball side rotation, not what you want to see in your threes roster. Taffy, I'm pretty sure he at least had a 50 on that one. Was getting bumped, but I believe he could have gone to the ball before Cinex. Maybe not communicating the touch he was going for and just giving it away at the last possible moments. Although Taffy Jones now getting a lovely little one over Ronan. This could be an open net here, but no player, sadly, on the side of Neptunium believing in that one, and then just no follow-ups once again. They're just a bit slower than the side of Mischief. In terms of shots, they've had almost the same pressure, but the clinicality, it has been all Mischief, and Ronan waking up once again after that game 2 slumber, let's say. He has shown up finally here to show who the star man is.
Yeah, Mischief just aren't scared of challenging. As you can see, they just go for any ball, whereas Neptunia are a bit more hesitant. They're a bit more panicky, jumping into things, going in ball side rotation. Cinex could have avoided that last goal just by rotating back post like a normal freeze roster, but he's not done it this time, as Taffy does try to give them a little bit of a remontada, as GM calls it. We've got Taffy hitting it. Nobody there. It just gives Tank a free ball. And Taffy is with that. It might give Mischief another chance just to see out this game. But they just get closed off on top of each other.
Very true. I mean, he got a bit overzealous with the bumps there. Maybe thought one of the allied cars was an enemy, but Pez, once again, he either gets the ball or gets the life. You can't get both, as Mada might look to get some semblance of hope here. But Tank chooses to deny. No mercy here from the side of Mischief, just playing solid Rocket League. Maybe a bit angry after that one slip-up loss there. But once again, I mean, they are showing some cracks here. Some of these balls have been missed and have left Mischief open and exposed. If there could be a proper threes team behind those misses and actually punish them, maybe Eclipse, as we have kind of dwindled about on it, there could be some chance here for Mischief to face the lower brackets, but so far they've been the dominant force, and Neptunium are out of playoffs. Well, not actually out of playoffs, they're in the lower brackets, but they will have a rough time there, but they can pick it up. I'm just interested in which roster they'll go for in the lower brackets there.
Yeah, Neptunium do live to fight another day. They will play Ember in the next game in the lower bracket. We do look at the scoreboard there, and Tank and Ronan just dominated that game. I think Neptune